Do you ever feel stuck? Like something inside you is holding you back from reaching your full potential? It's easy to think that external factors are the only things stopping us. But the truth is, the biggest obstacles can come from our own attitudes. In this video, we're going to explore what we call diseases of attitude. Negative ways of thinking and acting that keep us from moving forward. Things like procrastination, envy, fear, and self-doubt may feel like small issues, but over time they build up and prevent you from living your best life. The good news is, you have the power to change. If you can recognize these attitudes, you can start working to overcome them. By the end of this video, you'll know how to take control of your mindset and break free from what's been holding you back. Stick with us. Your transformation starts now. Number 1, conquer negative thinking by practicing gratitude daily. Every single day, your mind is being shaped by the thoughts you allow to take root. Whether you realize it or not, your thoughts dictate your emotions. Your emotions dictate your actions, and your actions dictate the direction of your entire life. And if negative thinking has taken control, it's like walking through life with a heavy weight chained to your ankles. It slows you down, drains your energy, and keeps you from seeing the opportunities that are right in front of you. But here's the truth that changes everything. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts, which means you have the power to change them. And one of the most powerful ways to break free from negative thinking is by practicing gratitude daily, because gratitude is the ultimate mindset reset. Think about this. Your brain is like a spotlight. Whatever you shine it on, that's what you'll see more of. If you focus on problems, you'll see more problems. If you focus on what's missing, you'll feel empty. If you focus on everything that's going wrong, your brain will collect even more evidence to convince you that life is working against you. But when you shift that spotlight to gratitude, everything changes. You start noticing what's going right. You start seeing the little wins, the moments of beauty, the things you once took for granted. Gratitude flips the script, rewires your brain, and opens your eyes to the blessings that were always there but buried beneath the noise of negativity. And the best part? It's one of the simplest habits you can build. When you wake up in the morning, before you even grab your phone, take a moment to acknowledge something you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as waking up with another chance to chase your dreams, the warmth of the sun on your skin, or the fact that you have breath in your lungs. Because here's what most people miss. Gratitude isn't about waiting for some massive life-changing event to happen. It's about appreciating what's already here. The small moments, the little victories, the things you might overlook if you're always searching for something bigger. And when you make this a habit, something incredible starts to happen. The negativity that once felt so heavy begins to lose its grip. Your perspective shifts. Your energy changes. And suddenly you start attracting more things to be grateful for. But let's be real. Some days gratitude feels impossible. Maybe life has hit you hard, and you're stuck in a storm that just won't let up. Maybe you're dealing with setbacks, heartbreak, or struggles that make it hard to see the good. That's when gratitude becomes even more powerful, because it forces you to find light in the darkness. It's easy to be grateful when everything is going great, but real strength comes from finding gratitude even when life is testing you. And when you do that, you take back control. You refuse to let negativity win. You train your mind to see the silver linings, even in the toughest times. And that mindset, that's what separates people who stay stuck from those who rise above. If you want to take this even further, don't just think about gratitude, speak it, write it down, make it real. At the end of the day, take 5 minutes to reflect on 3 things you were grateful for that day. Say them out loud, feel them, because when you do this consistently, gratitude stops being just a practice, it becomes a way of life. And when gratitude is your default mindset, negativity loses its power over you. You stop wasting energy on what you lack, and start appreciating what you have. You stop focusing on problems, and start seeing possibilities. You become the kind of person who radiates positivity, and that energy, it's contagious. It attracts more good into your life. It transforms the way you see the world. And in the end, that's the secret. Not waiting for life to be perfect, but choosing to see the beauty in every moment. Number 2, crush fear by taking one bold step today. Fear is a liar. It's that invisible force that keeps you stuck, that whispers in your ear, telling you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that failure is inevitable. But here's the truth that shatters fear into a million pieces. The only way to crush fear is to face it head on. You can't outthink fear. You can't wait for it to disappear. The only thing that silences fear is action. Bold, unapologetic action. And the most powerful move you can make right now is to take one bold step today. No matter how small, no matter how imperfect. Because action is what kills fear. Not waiting, not overthinking, not hoping for the perfect moment. The mind is a battlefield, and fear thrives in hesitation. The longer you wait, the stronger fear becomes. It feeds on your doubts, your insecurities, and your past failures. But the second you take action, fear starts to crumble. The moment you step into the unknown, even with shaking hands and a racing heart, you take your power back. You send a message to your subconscious that you're in control, not fear. And that one step, it creates momentum. It shifts your energy. It changes the way you see yourself. Imagine this. You've been dreaming of starting that business, launching that channel, chasing that passion. But fear keeps whispering that you're not ready. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're not good enough? But what if instead of letting those thoughts control you, you just take one bold step? Maybe it's recording that first video. Maybe it's reaching out to that mentor. Maybe it's posting that content you've been holding back. That one step might seem small, but it's everything. Because the moment you do it, you break the cycle of fear. You prove to yourself that you're capable. And once you taste that, there's no going back. The truth is, confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence is built through action. You don't wait until you feel fearless to make a move. You move despite the fear. And that's what creates confidence. Every step you take, no matter how uncomfortable, strengthens your belief in yourself. And here's the magic. Once you take that first step, fear loses its grip. What once felt impossible starts to feel doable. What once scared you becomes second nature. But here's what separates those who stay stuck from those who succeed. Most people wait for the perfect moment. They wait until they feel ready. But that moment never comes. The perfect moment is now, right here, right in the middle of your fear and self-doubt. Because fear isn't a sign to stop. It's a signal that you're about to grow. And if you can train your mind to lean into that fear, to embrace the discomfort, you become unstoppable. Take one bold step today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be huge. Just one step that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Because once you do that, you've already won. You've already done what 99% of people are too afraid to do. And that's what sets you apart. That's what puts you on the path to greatness. Fear is temporary. Regret is forever. Don't let fear steal your dreams. Don't let fear rob you of the life you were born to live. Take that bold step today. Because when you do, you'll realize something powerful. Fear was never the enemy. Inaction was. And now you're in control. Number 3. Build self-discipline by sticking to your promises. Success isn't about luck. It's not about talent or circumstances. It's about discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And the foundation of discipline, sticking to your promises. Because every single time you make a promise to yourself and break it, you lose trust in your own abilities. You weaken your mindset. You tell your subconscious that your words mean nothing. But when you start keeping those promises, no matter how small, you become unstoppable. You build an unshakable belief in yourself. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who gets things done, someone who is destined for greatness. Think about this. When you set a goal, whether it's waking up early, hitting the gym, or building that business, your mind will try to fight you. It will come up with excuses. It will tell you that you're tired, that you'll start tomorrow, that it's not the right time. And the moment you give in, you reinforce that pattern. You become someone who starts and stops, someone who talks but never executes. But when you push through, when you stick to that promise, even when it's uncomfortable, something shifts. You start to reprogram your mind. You start to build momentum. You start to feel that inner strength, that unstoppable energy that only disciplined people understand. The truth is, discipline is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And the key is to start small. Promise yourself that you'll wake up at 5 a.m. and actually do it. Promise yourself that you'll work on your goals for 1 hour a day and follow through. Promise yourself that you'll cut out distractions and stay focused. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Because when you repeatedly show up for yourself, your mind starts to believe in you. Your self-image transforms. And suddenly, discipline becomes who you are, not something you force. Most people think they lack motivation, but motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is permanent. It's what separates winners from quitters. And the secret to building that discipline is this: never negotiate with your mind. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't give yourself an option. Don't allow excuses to creep in. Because every time you follow through, you're strengthening that identity of being a disciplined person. And once that identity locks in, everything becomes easier. But let's be real. Building discipline isn't easy. Your mind will resist. Your body will want to stay in comfort. And that's exactly why you must push through. Because every time you push through that resistance, you're reprogramming your subconscious. You're proving to yourself that you're in control. Not your emotions, not your fears, not your excuses. And that's how champions are made. If you want to truly dominate in life, you have to fall in love with discipline. You have to crave that feeling of doing what others won't. You have to embrace the discomfort, the struggle, the grind. Because that's where true growth happens. That's where success is built. And the beautiful thing is, once you build that discipline, it spills into every area of your life. Your fitness, your finances, your relationships, your mindset. Everything levels up. So today, make that commitment. Promise yourself that you will no longer break your word. That when you say you'll do something, you'll do it. No matter how tired you are, no matter how busy you are, no matter how much your mind tries to resist. Because when you become that person who follows through, you become unstoppable. You tap into a level of power that most people will never experience. And that's the key to winning. That's the key to becoming the greatest version of yourself. Number 4. Strengthen your mindset by surrounding yourself with winners. Your environment is either building you up or tearing you down. And the people you choose to surround yourself with are shaping your mindset more than you realize. If you want to strengthen your mind, elevate your life, and dominate in everything you do, you need to be surrounded by winners, people who are driven, focused, and relentless in chasing their goals. Because energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. When you spend time around people who think big, who refuse to settle, who are constantly pushing themselves to the next level, that energy becomes your new normal. You start to think differently. You start to believe in bigger possibilities. You start to operate at a higher frequency. The reality is, your mind adapts to the environment you place it in. When you're surrounded by people who complain, who make excuses, who settle for mediocrity, your mindset gets poisoned. Your standards drop. Your ambition fades. But when you're in a room full of winners, something powerful happens. Your mind starts to expand. You start to see opportunities that you never noticed before. You start to think, if they can do it, why can't I? That's why the fastest way to level up your mindset is to upgrade your circle. Get around people who are already living the life you want. People who wake up hungry, who stay disciplined, who refuse to quit. But let's be honest, sometimes your current circle won't understand your vision. They won't get your grind. They'll tell you to slow down, to play it safe, to be realistic. That's why you have to be ruthless with your energy. Protect your mind like your life depends on it. Because it does. Start cutting off the negativity. Stop wasting time with people who drain your energy, who gossip, who doubt your dreams. Instead, seek out the ones who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, who push you to be your best self. And if you can't find them in real life yet, dive into books, podcasts, and content that feed your mind with that winning mentality. Because when you flood your mind with powerful, positive voices, your thinking shifts, your confidence grows, your discipline strengthens. This is the secret that successful people understand. Success isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. And part of working smarter is putting yourself in an environment that forces you to level up. Because when you're surrounded by people who are operating at a higher level, you naturally start to rise to that level too. You start to think bigger, move faster, and execute at a higher standard. That's why so many successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders talk about the importance of proximity to power. They understand that being around greatness rubs off on you. But here's the key. This isn't about cutting off everyone from your past or looking down on people who aren't where you are yet. It's about being intentional with your energy. It's about spending less time with people who drain you and more time with those who elevate you. It's about creating a winning environment, both physically and mentally, that fuels your growth and keeps you locked in on your vision. So ask yourself right now, who are you spending the most time with? Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Are they inspiring you to go harder or pulling you into old habits and distractions? Your life is a reflection of the people you surround yourself with. And if you want to reach the next level, you need to start surrounding yourself with people who are already there. People who think differently. People who are obsessed with growth. People who refuse to lose. Because when you do that, your mindset transforms. Your standards rise. Your results explode. And you start becoming that person others want to be around. The journey to greatness isn't meant to be walked alone. Winners build with winners. Champions push each other to new heights. And when you lock into that kind of environment, you become unstoppable. Number 5. Destroy doubt by celebrating small wins every day. Doubt is the silent killer of dreams. It creeps in when you're pushing toward your goals, whispering that you're not good enough, that you're not making progress, that success is out of reach. But here's the truth, that most people never realize: doubt isn't destroyed by massive achievements or overnight success. It's crushed by consistency. It's defeated when you start celebrating small wins every single day, because those small victories, they're proof that you're moving forward. They're evidence that you're becoming the person who deserves the success you're chasing. And when you train your mind to focus on those small wins, you start building unstoppable momentum. Every step forward, no matter how small, rewires your brain. When you celebrate those wins, you're feeding your mind positive reinforcement. You're teaching your subconscious that you are capable, that you are making progress, that you are in control. And the more you do that, the louder your confidence becomes, and the quieter doubt gets. The problem is, too many people are stuck chasing the big moment, the breakthrough, the massive achievement, the overnight transformation. But success doesn't happen like that. It's built in the moments no one sees. It's built when you wake up early and put in the work. It's built when you push through the discomfort. It's built when you stay disciplined, even when you feel like quitting. Imagine this. You hit the gym today. That's a win. You worked on your side hustle for an hour. That's a win. You chose to read instead of scrolling through social media. Another win. These are the moments that stack up. These are the small victories that create unstoppable momentum. And when you start recognizing and celebrating them, your mind shifts. You stop feeling like you're so far away from your goals, and you start realizing you're already becoming that version of yourself. But here's where most people go wrong. They don't give themselves credit for the work they're putting in. They downplay their progress. They think it's not enough. And that mindset is exactly what keeps them stuck. Because when your mind doesn't feel like you're winning, it starts to doubt your abilities. It starts to question your potential. And that's when people quit. But when you shift your focus and start celebrating every step forward, you build confidence. You build self-belief. You build unstoppable momentum that makes quitting impossible. This is how champions are made. They don't wait for the world to validate them. They validate themselves. They recognize the small steps that most people ignore. They celebrate the grind, the discipline, the effort, and that's what separates them from everyone else. Because when you train your mind to find the wins in your daily actions, you become unstoppable. You stop relying on motivation. You stop caring about what other people think. You lock into your vision, and nothing can shake you. So today, start keeping score of your wins. Write them down, track your progress, and celebrate every single step forward. Whether it's hitting your workout, staying focused on your goals, or simply choosing discipline over comfort. When you start seeing yourself as a winner in the small moments, the big victories will come. Because success isn't built in a single moment, it's built in the thousands of wins you stack up along the way. And when you master that mindset, doubt doesn't stand a chance. Number 6. Boost confidence by speaking positive words to yourself. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's built. It's forged through your habits, your mindset, and most importantly, your words. The words you speak to yourself every single day are shaping your reality. They're programming your mind either for success or for failure. And the truth is, your mind believes what you tell it. If you keep feeding it doubt, fear, and negativity, that's exactly what will dominate your life. But when you start speaking powerful, positive words to yourself, you begin to rewire your brain. You start creating a version of yourself that's unstoppable. Your words are like seeds. When you plant negative words, you grow insecurity and fear. But when you plant words of power, belief, and success, you grow confidence and strength. And this is where most people go wrong. They let their environment, their circumstances, and other people's opinions dictate how they speak to themselves. They say things like, "I'm not good enough," "I'm not ready," or "I always fail." And with every negative word, they're reinforcing a weak, powerless identity. But the game changes when you take control of your self-talk. When you start telling yourself, "I am unstoppable," "I am disciplined," "I am becoming the greatest version of myself," you activate a different part of your mind. You start aligning your actions with your words, and that's when your confidence starts to skyrocket. The key is repetition. Your mind won't believe positive words the first time you say them. It's been conditioned for years with self-doubt and limiting beliefs. But when you consistently speak powerful words day after day, your subconscious starts to shift. Your self-image transforms. You start moving differently, thinking differently, and attracting different results. This is exactly how high performers, athletes, and successful entrepreneurs operate. They don't wait for confidence to show up. They create it with their words. Before they step on that stage, before they hit the gym, before they launch that business, they're feeding their mind positive affirmations. They're programming themselves for success. But here's the thing, this isn't about empty hype. It's not about lying to yourself or pretending everything's perfect. It's about speaking truth to yourself before your reality catches up. It's about telling yourself, "I am capable," even when you feel fear. It's about saying, "I am disciplined," even when your mind wants to quit. Because the more you affirm those words, the more your brain starts to believe them. And once your brain believes it, your actions follow. Imagine waking up every morning and looking in the mirror saying, "I am built for greatness. I am focused and unstoppable. I attract success and abundance." At first it might feel awkward. Your mind might resist it. But over time, those words will become your new identity. You'll start seeing yourself differently. You'll start making decisions that align with that powerful version of yourself. And that's when your confidence becomes unshakable. Most people are trapped in a cycle of self-doubt because they're feeding their mind the wrong words. They're stuck saying things like, "I'm not ready," "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail." And that negative self-talk is keeping them small, keeping them stuck, keeping them afraid to take action. But the second you flip that script and start speaking words of power and belief, everything shifts. Your energy shifts. Your mindset shifts. Your results shift. So right now, decide that you will no longer speak words that weaken you. Decide that you will only speak words that build your confidence and elevate your mindset. Speak it into existence. "I am disciplined. I am powerful. I am becoming the person who achieves my dreams." And don't just say it once. Say it every morning. Say it before every challenge. Say it when doubt tries to creep in. Because when you control your words, you control your mind. And when you control your mind, you control your destiny. This is how confidence is built. Not by luck, not by waiting for the right moment, but by speaking it into existence, day after day, until you become the person you were meant to be. And once you master this, you'll never be the same. Number 7. Break laziness by setting clear goals and deadlines. Laziness doesn't have to be a permanent state. It's not a prison you're locked in forever. In fact, you have the key in your hands right now. The ability to break free from that cycle of procrastination, lethargy, and inaction is closer than you think. All it takes is one shift, a small change in how you approach your goals. We all have dreams, ambitions, and things we want to achieve. But the challenge always lies in taking the first step. The trick is simple. Set clear goals and deadlines. And when you do that, you're no longer just wishing for success. You're actively creating it. The power to get things done is waiting for you to claim it. But how do you begin? It's all about setting goals that are crystal clear and then backing them up with deadlines that hold you accountable. You don't need to dream aimlessly or wander through your days without a purpose. The key to overcoming laziness is laying down a foundation of direction. And that's exactly what a well-thought-out goal and deadline can do for you. Imagine waking up every day with a plan that excites you, something you can look forward to and work towards. That plan, that clear, well-defined goal, transforms your entire day. It gives you a purpose and drives you forward. No more wasting time. No more feeling stuck. You start taking action, and that's when everything changes. But the real magic happens when you add deadlines to the mix. Deadlines are the catalyst that turns your goals into reality. Without a deadline, your goals are just dreams floating in space, waiting for a moment to happen. But once you attach a timeline to them, you put pressure on yourself. And pressure is the thing that gets results. It forces you to act, to focus, and to push through moments of doubt and hesitation. A deadline is like a finish line. It gives you something to strive for, something tangible to chase. And once you reach it, the feeling of accomplishment is incomparable. You can sit back, look at what you've achieved, and know that you didn't let laziness control you. When you commit to goals that are specific, measurable, and timely, you're giving yourself a roadmap. It's no longer about wondering what comes next or feeling paralyzed by all the things you could be doing. Instead, you have a clear path, a sequence of steps that get you closer to where you want to be. And this isn't about setting random goals either. It's about setting goals that excite you, that push you to grow, that challenge you to show up every single day. These are the kinds of goals that ignite a fire within you. When you wake up with something to strive for, something that makes your heart race, laziness doesn't stand a chance. The most successful people aren't the ones who sit around waiting for motivation to strike. They are the ones who've learned how to create momentum by setting goals that matter and holding themselves accountable with deadlines. It's a mindset shift that changes everything. And it's not as hard as it sounds. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin. You don't need to feel overwhelmed by the thought of accomplishing something huge. The key is breaking it down into manageable steps, setting smaller goals, and then giving yourself deadlines to hit those milestones. This keeps you moving forward, keeps you engaged, and most importantly, it keeps you motivated. Imagine for a moment if you started setting small, achievable goals every single day. A goal you know you can accomplish today. A goal that makes you feel like you're moving forward, no matter how small the step might be. By adding deadlines to these goals, you give yourself a sense of urgency. You no longer have the luxury of procrastination. You become more productive, more focused, and most importantly, you get results. And results are what you need to break free from laziness. Every little success compounds over time, and before you know it, you've built a habit of action, a habit that no longer entertains the idea of laziness. You've reprogrammed your brain to see productivity as the path of least resistance. You might think that setting goals and deadlines is only for big projects or long-term aspirations. But the truth is, it works for everything. Whether it's something as simple as getting through your daily tasks, or as complex as launching a new business, the principles are the same. The clearer your goals, the more achievable they become. The more specific your deadlines, the more likely you are to follow through. It's all about breaking things down into bite-sized pieces that you can tackle without feeling overwhelmed. This is where laziness starts to lose its grip on you. When you have a clear goal in front of you, laziness doesn't seem so inviting. You start to feel a sense of urgency, a desire to prove to yourself that you can do this. It's not about waiting for the perfect conditions to be motivated. It's about setting yourself up for success, regardless of how you feel. You create a system that works for you. You create momentum, and that momentum builds into something unstoppable. The longer you stay in motion, the more you realize that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the willingness to act. And when you set goals and deadlines, you've already made that decision for yourself. One of the most powerful aspects of setting goals and deadlines is how they keep you accountable.
You don't have to rely on willpower or motivation to get things done. You rely on the structure you've created. And when you start holding yourself to deadlines, you'll notice something amazing happens. You start pushing yourself in ways you didn't think were possible. The deadlines force you to stay committed, to keep moving, and to focus on the tasks at hand. It's like a personal contract with yourself. You've decided that this is the time to act, and you're going to follow through. So if you're ready to break the cycle of laziness and take control of your life, it all starts with setting clear, compelling goals and giving them a deadline. That's the key to unlocking your true potential. Once you take that step, everything else starts to fall into place. You'll find yourself more focused, more energized, and more determined than ever before. Laziness will no longer hold power over you. You'll be too busy making progress to even think about it. And when you look back, you'll see how far you've come, how much you've achieved, and how proud you are of the person you've become. This is your time to shine. All you have to do is set that goal, create that deadline, and start taking action. The rest will follow.
Number 8. Ignite passion by pursuing what excites you the most. If you want to truly ignite passion in your life, you need to start by doing what excites you the most. It's the thing that makes you wake up with energy, that pushes you through the toughest of days, and keeps you moving forward when everything else feels hard. We all have that one thing, whether it's a career, a hobby, or a dream, that makes our heart beat faster. The problem is, for many of us, we often push those things aside in favor of what we think we should be doing, or what seems more practical. But here's the truth. Life is too short to play it safe. If you want to live with true passion, you have to pursue what excites you at your core, the thing that makes you feel alive. When you follow your passions, something incredible happens. It doesn't feel like work anymore. The challenges become fuel. The setbacks become lessons, and you find yourself enjoying the journey even when things get tough. Passion isn't about waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and it's certainly not about trying to fit into someone else's mold. Passion is about finding that spark inside of you, the one that makes you light up and say, "This is what I'm meant to do." Whether it's painting, writing, coding, speaking, traveling, or something entirely unique to you, that passion is your power. When you tap into it, you stop being driven by external forces like obligation or fear. Instead, you start moving forward because you genuinely want to. It's easy to get stuck in the daily grind, doing things out of habit or because they're expected of us. You go through the motions day after day, feeling like there's no real excitement in your life. You tell yourself that you'll get around to your passion someday, once everything else is taken care of. But the reality is, if you don't make space for what excites you, you'll never feel that spark that pushes you to greatness. The truth is, chasing your passion isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for creating a fulfilling and meaningful life. Without it, you risk living a life that's empty, that leaves you wondering what you could have achieved if only you'd followed your heart. You're not here to be average. You're not here to waste time doing things you don't care about. You're here to chase the fire that burns inside of you, and that fire is waiting to be set ablaze. When you find what excites you, you become unstoppable. The world can throw obstacles in your way, but your passion will drive you to keep going. It's that inner fuel that keeps you focused, even when the road gets tough. Passion is what will make you push through the hard days, what will give you the strength to keep going when everything else seems to be falling apart. Passion is the difference between getting through the day and truly living it. It's what turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. People who are truly passionate about something exude a different energy. They are magnetic because their excitement is contagious. Passion doesn't just fuel their success, it transforms their entire approach to life. When you're doing what you love, every action, every step becomes an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. There is no room for laziness when you're following your passion. There is no hesitation. You show up every single day, not because you have to, but because you want to. You're building something bigger than yourself. You're creating something that reflects who you are, something that brings you joy. And when you're filled with that kind of energy, you attract more of the same. People want to be around you. They want to see your fire, to catch a glimpse of what it's like to be driven by something so powerful. But here's where it gets even better.
When you pursue what excites you, you become more creative. Your mind opens up in ways that it wouldn't if you were stuck in a routine that drained your energy. Passion is a creative force. It pushes you to think outside the box, to challenge norms, to come up with innovative solutions to problems. It makes you want to push boundaries, explore new ideas, and take risks that you wouldn't have taken otherwise. When you're genuinely excited about something, you don't hesitate to put your full effort into it. You go all in. You don't care about the fear of failure, because the excitement of success outweighs it. The more you pursue what excites you, the more you unlock new levels of creativity, energy, and drive. The beauty of passion is that it doesn't need to be logical. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. It's a fire that burns uniquely within you. And when you allow that fire to guide you, you stop second-guessing yourself. You stop worrying about whether it's the right choice or whether other people will approve. You're no longer asking for permission to pursue your dreams. You're taking the reins of your own life. You understand that pursuing what excites you isn't about finding external validation. It's about trusting your own instincts, knowing that this path, however unconventional it may seem, is the one that will make you feel alive. The more you feed your passion, the more it grows. It becomes a self-sustaining cycle, where the more you give, the more you get. This isn't about chasing fame or recognition. It's about creating something that truly matters to you. It's about waking up every day with a sense of purpose and excitement, knowing that what you're doing is worth every ounce of effort. People are drawn to that. They see your energy, your dedication, and they want to be a part of it. Passion doesn't just change your life. It changes the lives of those around you. When you lead with excitement, you inspire others to do the same. So if you want to live a life that's full of energy, creativity, and fulfillment, stop waiting for the perfect time and start pursuing what excites you right now. Don't wait for some distant future when you think you'll have more time or more resources. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. The time is always now. Start small, but start today. Every step you take toward your passion, no matter how small, is a step toward creating the life you've always dreamed of. When you wake up with passion, you become unstoppable. And when you make that passion a priority, your entire world starts to shift. Everything becomes more vibrant, more alive. This is your time to shine. Go after what excites you and let that passion fuel you to places you've only dreamed of.
Number 9. Overcome envy by focusing on your unique strengths. You have something incredibly unique inside of you, something that no one else has, and that right there is your superpower. The moment you start embracing this, you step into a new level of power where envy has no room to thrive. The reason envy sneaks into your life is because you're comparing yourself to others, looking at what they have or what they've achieved, and feeling like you're falling short. But here's the truth that you need to understand. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Everyone's journey is different, and the success of others doesn't diminish your own potential. When you focus on what makes you unique, envy becomes irrelevant. Instead of looking at someone else's success and feeling inferior, you'll start to see it as inspiration. You'll realize that your own journey, your own strengths, are what will set you apart and take you to places that are uniquely yours. The real key to overcoming envy is shifting your focus away from others and turning it inward. You don't need to be like anyone else to succeed. In fact, the more you try to mimic someone else's path, the further you get from your own greatness. You have strengths that are completely unique to you, and those are the very things that will propel you forward. It's not about what someone else is doing or how fast they're growing. It's about you embracing what you bring to the table. When you do this, when you start looking at yourself with pride instead of comparison, envy has no hold on you. You begin to see yourself as enough. You stop worrying about whether someone else is doing better than you, because you realize that your journey and your growth have their own pace, and that pace is exactly where you need to be. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your achievements to someone else's highlight reel. Social media doesn't help, right? It's constantly showing us the best moments of other people's lives, making us believe that they have it all together. But that's only a small fraction of their story. What's real is what's happening behind the scenes. The effort, the struggle, the failures that no one posts about. The more you focus on someone else's success, the more you lose sight of your own potential. You start to think that if you don't achieve what they've achieved by a certain age or in a certain way, you've somehow failed. But that's not how success works. There's no one blueprint for greatness, and once you embrace that, envy doesn't seem so relevant anymore. You can stand tall in your own accomplishments, no matter how big or small they seem in comparison to others. What matters is that you're moving forward, and that's all that matters. Imagine for a moment how powerful you'd feel if you stopped measuring your worth against anyone else's success. If you simply focused on your strengths, your passions, and your purpose, and allowed them to drive you forward, you would instantly unlock a new level of confidence. You'd see the beauty in what makes you different. Instead of being held back by envy, you'd be motivated by the idea that you have a special contribution to make. There's something in you that no one else can replicate. And when you put your energy into that, you become unstoppable. Your strengths aren't something to hide or downplay. They are your keys to success. Whether it's your creativity, your resilience, your work ethic, or your unique perspective on the world, these strengths are yours and yours alone. The more you lean into them, the more you begin to understand that envy isn't a necessary part of the equation. You'll find that envy is a symptom of not fully accepting your own path. When you're not clear on what you bring to the table, you start looking at what others are doing, and suddenly you think you're not doing enough. But that's a trap. The truth is, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing in order to reach your potential. The key is to stay true to your journey and stop getting distracted by what's happening around you. You're already on the path to success, but when you focus on your own strengths and unique abilities, you'll start to accelerate your progress in a way that feels natural and fulfilling. You might think that in order to succeed, you need to do things the way someone else has done them. But the truth is, your path is meant to be different. The world needs your unique perspective, your unique approach, and your unique contributions. There's no one like you. Your experiences, your challenges, your victories, these are the things that have shaped you and made you who you are. When you start focusing on what makes you stand out, you'll begin to see that you have everything you need to create the life you desire. Envy fades when you realize that the only competition you need to focus on is the person you were yesterday. The only person you need to outdo is yourself, and when you do that, everything else will follow. What's important here is to nurture your own strengths, to be intentional about where you focus your energy. If you're constantly looking at others, comparing yourself to them, you're spending your time and energy on things that don't serve you. But when you put that energy back into yourself, into what excites you, into what you're passionate about, into what you're good at, you start to grow in ways that others can't even imagine. And that growth, that momentum, is the thing that will set you apart. People will begin to notice your confidence, your self-assurance, and your ability to shine in your own right. The next time you feel envy creeping in, remember that it's a sign that you're not fully appreciating your own strengths. Envy happens when you forget that you have something powerful inside of you. It's not about trying to outshine someone else. It's about letting your own light shine as brightly as possible. The more you embrace your strengths, the more you will attract opportunities, people, and success. Your journey is yours alone, and when you stop worrying about others, you'll realize that there's nothing standing in your way. The path to overcoming envy is not about trying to be someone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Focus on what makes you unique, what excites you, what you're good at, and allow that to propel you forward. When you do this, not only will envy disappear, but you'll discover the unstoppable power that resides within you. Your strengths will become your guiding light, and you'll finally be able to see that your own journey, your own success is all that matters. The world needs your unique contributions, and the moment you realize that, everything will shift. Embrace what's special about you and watch as you break free from envy and into a world of unlimited potential. Number 10. Defeat procrastination by starting now with one simple action. Right now, this moment, you have everything you need to conquer procrastination and take control of your life. It's not about waiting for the perfect time or feeling like you need everything in order to get started. The key to defeating procrastination is incredibly simple. Start now. Just take one small step. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it won't be perfect. But that's the beauty of it. Perfection doesn't exist. And the more you wait for it, the longer you'll stay stuck. Every moment you delay is a moment you're wasting. And when you realize that taking action, even if it's small, is far more powerful than waiting for the right moment, that's when everything starts to shift. Procrastination is like this silent thief that steals your time and your opportunities. It whispers to you that there's always tomorrow, that you'll get to it when you're ready, when you feel inspired, or when the circumstances align just right. But guess what? Tomorrow never comes. It's always another day away. The longer you keep putting things off, the more you pile up tasks. And before you know it, they start feeling impossible to tackle. That weight builds, the stress mounts, and you feel overwhelmed. But if you want to break free from that cycle, it's simple. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and take action now. Even the smallest action will build momentum, and momentum is what carries you forward. Not grand plans or waiting for everything to fall into place. When you take that first step, no matter how small, you're sending a powerful message to yourself. You're telling yourself that you're not going to let fear or uncertainty stop you. You're showing yourself that you have the ability to overcome the inertia that keeps you stuck. The hardest part isn't doing the work, it's getting started. Once you take that first step, the rest becomes easier. You'll find that your mind starts shifting, your energy starts rising, and you're propelled into action. It's not magic, it's the power of starting. Taking action, no matter how small, shifts your mindset. It moves you out of the state of inaction and into the flow of doing. And once you start moving, it's amazing how quickly things start to happen. Think about it for a moment. When you look at something big and overwhelming, what happens? You freeze. You don't know where to begin, so you end up doing nothing at all. But when you break it down into just one simple action, just one small thing, it becomes doable. You don't need to see the entire staircase, just the next step, and that next step is powerful. It's the beginning of creating momentum. Procrastination thrives when you feel overwhelmed. The bigger the task, the more likely you are to put it off. But once you break it down into something simple, it no longer feels like this huge mountain you can't climb. Instead, it feels like something you can handle. Because you're no longer focused on the big picture. You're focused on the one small action you can take right now. This is where most people get stuck. They think they need to have everything planned out before they can begin. They think they need to have all the answers, all the tools, and all the time in the world before they can take that first step. But that's simply not true. The first step doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to be something. And that's where the magic happens. Once you take that first step, you start to see things differently. What once seemed impossible becomes achievable. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. That's because you've broken the cycle of procrastination and moved into action. And once you're in action, you start to build momentum. Every time you take a simple action, you're telling yourself that you're in control. You're not waiting for the perfect moment anymore. You're creating the perfect moment by starting. And guess what? The more you do this, the easier it becomes. Procrastination is like a bad habit. The more you give into it, the harder it is to break. But the more you take action, even in the smallest ways, the easier it becomes to keep moving forward. It's like a snowball effect. One small action leads to another, and before you know it, you're making real progress. You might be sitting there thinking, but what if I mess up? What if I fail? And that's okay. Failure is part of the process. In fact, it's not failure at all. It's feedback. Every time you try something and it doesn't go perfectly, you learn something, you adjust, you improve, and you grow. But nothing, absolutely nothing happens if you don't start. If you keep waiting for the perfect time, for the ideal circumstances, or for the moment when everything feels aligned, you'll never make any progress. But when you begin, even imperfectly, you give yourself the chance to learn, to evolve, and to move forward. Action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality, and the first step is the most powerful one you can take. Procrastination is like a wall, and the key to tearing it down is starting. Once you push past that first barrier, you'll realize it wasn't as big or as scary as you thought. The more you take action,
the more you'll see that the wall is actually made of small, manageable steps. And every time you take that step, you break down a little more of the wall. Slowly but surely, you'll make progress. And that progress will motivate you to keep going. It's not about being perfect. It's about taking consistent, small actions that build up over time. That's how you defeat procrastination. Imagine how good it will feel to look back and see that you've made progress. Even if it's just small steps at a time. That sense of accomplishment is everything. It's the result of pushing through that initial resistance and getting started. You don't need to be motivated to start. You need to start to feel motivated. Action breeds motivation. So take that first step now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for everything to align. Start with one small action and watch how it leads to bigger and bigger things. You've got this. The only thing standing between you and the life you want to create is the decision to take action. So make that decision now and keep moving forward. The more you act, the more you'll realize that procrastination doesn't have the power to stop you. And that is when everything starts to change.